Sir, step out of the car. You look suspicious. I understand, officer. I'm getting out now. Why are you in this neighborhood? Officer, this is a mistake. You people always think that... No! Let go! Officer, I need to get through. Sir, this area is restricted. Federal agents, step aside. He was federally protected. Says who? Bodycam reviewed. Badge removed. United States Secret Service. Secret Service? I see. Lost his. It shouldn't take power to prove your humanity. I understand. But this time,
What is it?
someone was watching.
The cruiser lights keep flashing. Red, blue, red, blue. Marcus steps fully out of the SUV. The air feels heavier outside. Officer Briggs circles him slowly, hands where I can see them. They are higher. Marcus raises them chest level. Across the street, a teenage boy in a gray hoodie lifts his phone. Marcus notices. So does Briggs. You recording? Briggs snaps. The boy shrugs. Just watching. Briggs steps closer to Marcus. You seem tense. I'm not. You're shaking. Marcus looks at his hands. They aren't. I asked why I was stopped. Marcus says calmly. Briggs ignores the question. Where'd you say you work again? Cybersecurity. For who? Marcus hesitates. The smallest pause. Briggs catches it. Thought so. What does that mean? Briggs leans in. It means don't play smart. A second officer exits the backup cruiser. Younger. Quieter. He stays near the car. Watching. Marcus feels eyes from every direction now. Traffic slows. A woman across the street whispers into her phone. Briggs walks to the SUV. Peers inside. Anything in the vehicle I should know about? No. You sure? Yes. Briggs suddenly turns. Step back. Marcus steps back. Briggs reaches inside the SUV without asking. That's my property. Marcus says evenly. You got something to hide? No. Then relax. Marcus breathes in slowly. His heart is steady, but something is wrong. Too aggressive. Too personal. Briggs shuts the door hard. Walks back. You fit a description. Of what? Suspicious activity. That's not a description. Briggs' jaw tightens. You always this argumentative? I'm asking a question. The younger officer shifts uncomfortably. Briggs notices. You think I pulled you over for fun? I don't know why you pulled me over. Failure to signal. I did signal. Briggs steps closer. Their faces inches apart now. You call me a liar? Marcus feels heat rising in his chest. He pushes it down. No, sir. Silence. Briggs studies him. You got priors? No. Ever been arrested? No. Briggs walks behind him suddenly. Marcus stiffens. Spread your feet. For what reason? Briggs' voice hardens. Officer safety. Marcus obeys. Briggs pats him down. Rough. Unnecessary force. Keep your hands up. They are. The teenager across the street calls out softly. He didn't do nothing. Briggs whips around. You want to join him? The boy goes quiet. Marcus feels anger spark, but he keeps still. Briggs steps in front of him again. You nervous? No. You look nervous. I'm not. Briggs smirks. You people always say that. The words hit. Soft, but sharp. Marcus' jaw tightens. What does that mean? Briggs tilts his head. Means I've done this long enough. The younger officer finally speaks. Maybe we should just run his license. Briggs doesn't look at him. I am running it. But I said I am. The radio crackles. Dispatch confirms license is valid. No warrants. Clean record. Briggs stares at Marcus. Something like frustration flickers across his face. You got lucky. For what? Briggs steps forward again. You think you're better than me? Marcus blinks. I don't. You talk like it. I'm speaking normally. Briggs' voice drops lower. You step out in a suit. Nice car. Act calm. Like I can't see through it. Through what? Briggs doesn't answer. Instead, he pulls something from his belt. Metal glints in the flashing lights. Marcus feels his stomach drop. Turn around. Am I under arrest? Briggs doesn't respond. Turn around. The younger officer looks uneasy now. Briggs. Turn. Around. Marcus turns slowly. He feels cold metal brush his wrist. Across the street, the teenager steps forward. That's not right. Briggs snaps. Back up. Marcus closes his eyes for a brief second. He's done everything right. Hands visible. Voice calm. Compliant. And still, the first cuff tightens around his wrist. Click. The sound echoes louder than the sirens. Briggs reaches for his other arm. And that's when black SUVs turn onto the street. Unmarked. Moving with purpose. Marcus hears doors open behind him. Heavy. Controlled. Footsteps. Briggs pauses. What the hell? A voice cuts through the air. Clear. Commanding. Release him. Now. Marcus opens his eyes. And Briggs slowly turns around. The second cuff never closes. Briggs keeps hold of Marcus' wrist. But he turns his head toward the black SUVs. Doors shutting clean, heavy thuds. 3 men in dark suits move forward at the same time. Not rushing. Not shouting. Controlled. The street goes quiet. Even the traffic seems to slow. Briggs tightens his grip. Stay still, he mutters. Marcus feels the pressure in his wrist. Cold metal still hanging from one side. One of the suited men steps ahead of the others. Earpiece. Calm eyes. No badge shown yet. Officer, the man says evenly. Remove the cuff. Briggs frowns. Who are you? The man doesn't answer the question. I said remove the cuff. The younger officer glances between them. Briggs straightens his back. This is an act of detention. For what charge? The suited man asks. Briggs hesitates. Suspicious behavior. What behavior? He matched the description. Of? Briggs' jaw tightens again. That's not your concern. The suited man finally reaches into his jacket. He flashes a badge. Gold. Sharp. Unmistakable. United States Secret Service. A ripple moves through the small crowd. The teenager's phone lifts higher. Marcus exhales slowly, but he doesn't smile. Briggs' eyes flicker, then harden. Secret Service doesn't run traffic stops. The agent nods once. You're right. Silence. Then, but we do protect federal assets. The words hang in the air. Briggs looks back at Marcus. Really looks at him now. Suit. Watch. Composure. Remove the cuff. The agent repeats. Briggs doesn't move. Officer, the agent says again, slower, you are escalating a stop without probable cause. The younger officer swallows. Briggs, maybe we should. Quiet. Briggs snaps. Marcus feels the cuff press harder into his skin. His pulse beats against the metal. The crowd shifts closer. A woman whispers, "This is crazy." Another voice, "He didn't do anything." Briggs' face reddens. "You interfering with police business?" he shouts toward the crowd. The teenager fires back. "We're just watching." The agent steps slightly between Marcus and Briggs. Not aggressive, but firm. This stop is being observed. The agent says calmly, "By who?" Briggs challenges. The agent's eyes hold his. "By us." Another suited agent moves toward the younger officer. "Sir, can you confirm the reason for detention?" The younger officer hesitates. Failure to signal. Was it confirmed? The younger officer glances at Briggs, then at Marcus. Dispatch cleared him. Briggs shoots him a glare. Marcus feels something shift. Not safety, but exposure. Briggs removes the cuff abruptly. The metal scrapes Marcus' wrist. Red mark already forming. "You happy?" Briggs mutters. The lead agent ignores the tone. Step back from him. Briggs steps back half a step, but he doesn't lower his stare. Marcus rubs his wrist slowly. The skin stings. The agent turns to Marcus. "Sir, are you injured?" "No." "Were you informed of the reason for detention?" "No." Briggs interrupts. "I told him." "You told him he looked nervous?" Marcus says quietly. Briggs' eyes flash. The agent nods slightly. "Officer, what description did he match?" Briggs crosses his arms. "Suspicious male. Dark vehicle." "That's vague." The agent replies. It's enough. For a stop, maybe, not for cuffs. The younger officer shifts again. I didn't see him resist. Briggs spins toward him. You questioning me? The street feels smaller now, like walls closing in. The agent speaks again. Officer Briggs, badge number. Briggs stiffens. You don't need that. I do. A pause. Briggs slowly recites the number. The teenager whispers, got it, into his phone. Marcus watches Briggs carefully. The man isn't scared. Not yet, just angry. The lead agent tilts his head slightly. Are you aware this individual is attached to a federal protective network? Briggs laughs once. That's so. Yes. The words land heavier this time. The agent continues. You initiated a stop without clear cause, escalated without probable suspicion, attempted restraint after confirmation of a clean record. Briggs' voice sharpens. You don't know what I saw. Then explain it. Silence. The crowd waits. Even Marcus feels it. This is no longer private. It's a stage. Briggs finally says he was acting evasive. How? The agent asks. He hesitated. About his job. Marcus speaks calmly. I answered every question. Briggs points at him. That tone right there. The agent looks at Marcus. What tone? Briggs struggles for words. That smart tone. The teenager lets out a quiet. Wow. The younger officer lowers his eyes. The agent's face doesn't change, but his voice does, slightly firmer. Officer Briggs, we have visual and audio review from a moment the stop began. Briggs freezes. What? The agent gestures subtly toward the SUVs, monitoring protocol. Marcus' heartbeat slows. Not relief, but realization. Briggs' confidence flickers for the first time. You were monitoring? He asks. Yes. For how long? Briggs demands. The agent holds his gaze. Long enough. The weight of those words presses into the silence. Briggs' shoulders stiffen. The younger officer steps back unconsciously. Marcus feels something rising in the air. Not tension. Reversal. The agent reaches for his radio. Notify internal affairs. Briggs' head snaps up. That's not necessary. The agent doesn't look at him. It is now. Across the street, someone whispers. He's done. Briggs turns to Marcus. For the first time, there's uncertainty in his eyes. You think this makes you untouchable? Briggs mutters. Marcus meets his stare. No. He pauses. It makes me visible. The agent lowers his radio. Officer Briggs, he says calmly, step away from your vehicle. Briggs doesn't move. The agent repeats it. Slower. Step away. And for the first time since the lights flashed, Briggs hesitates. Briggs doesn't step away. Not at first. His jaw tightens. This is my scene, he says. The lead agent's voice stays level. Not anymore. The words land clean. Sharp. Briggs looks around. The crowd. The phones. The black SUVs. His control is slipping. You don't just roll up and take over. Briggs snaps. This isn't federal property. The agent tilts his head slightly. It became federal the moment you escalated it. Silence. Marcus watches Briggs carefully. He sees it now. Not just anger. Fear. But pride is louder than fear. Briggs steps toward Marcus again. You set this up? He accuses. Marcus blinks. Set what up? This. Briggs gestures wildly. All of this. I was driving home. You expect me to believe that? The teenager across the street mutters. He's reaching. Briggs spins toward him. You want obstruction charges? The boy freezes. The agent steps between them again. You will not intimidate civilians. I'm maintaining order, Briggs argues. With what probable cause? The agent replies. The younger officer shifts behind Briggs. Briggs, maybe we should just... You already said enough. Briggs cuts in. Marcus feels the pressure shift again. Briggs is cornered. Cornered people lash out. Briggs turns back to Marcus. You think you're smarter than everybody else. I don't. You talk calm like you're above it. Marcus swallows. I talk calm so this doesn't escalate. Briggs steps closer. So, you admit you thought it would escalate? That's not what I said. Briggs smirks slightly. Sounds like resistance to me. The word hangs there. Resistance. Marcus feels it. The trap. The agent's voice slices in. Define resistance. Briggs doesn't look at him. He questioned the stop. That's legal. He challenged my authority. That's also legal. The crowd murmurs. Briggs' face reddens deeper. You people think you know the law from YouTube. Marcus' heart pounds once, hard. You people. There it is again. Soft, but not soft. The younger officer finally speaks up. Quieter this time. He complied with everything. Briggs turned slowly. You writing my report now? No, sir. Then stop talking. Marcus watches the second officer's face. Young, uneasy, trapped between orders and conscience. Briggs reaches suddenly for Marcus' wrist again. The loose cuff still dangles. You're not free to go. The agent's tone sharpens. On what charge? Failure to obey. I obeyed. Attitude counts. The words shock even the crowd. The teenager blurts out, That's not a crime. Briggs shouts back, You want to test that? Marcus feels the cuff press against his skin again. Cold, threatening. Briggs lifts Marcus' arm slightly. You want to play games? Let's play. The agent steps forward. Officer Briggs, if you secure that second cuff without cause, this becomes unlawful restraint. Briggs doesn't answer. He looks at Marcus instead. Eyes narrow. This your big moment? Marcus' voice stays steady. No. You think these suits save you? I think the law should. That line lands harder than Marcus expects. Even he feels it echo in his chest. The crowd goes quiet again. The younger officer shifts his weight. Briggs' body cam's rolling. Briggs' head snaps toward him. And it records audio. A long beat. The lead agent speaks calmly. We've also been receiving live transmission. Briggs' eyes flick back to the SUVs. You said monitoring. You didn't say live. I didn't have to. The air feels thinner. Briggs looks down at the cuff in his hand, then back at Marcus. You hesitated when I asked about your job. Marcus answers quietly, because it wasn't relevant. Briggs laughs once. That hesitation tells me everything. Like what? That you're hiding something. Marcus shakes his head slowly. No, it tells you I'm tired. Tired of what? Being questioned for existing. The words slip out before Marcus can stop them. The street absorbs them. Heavy, honest. Briggs' face hardens. There it is. What? The chip. The agent steps closer again. Officer Briggs, step away from him. Briggs ignores him. He brings the cuff closer to Marcus' other wrist. Metal inches from skin. The younger officer's voice rises slightly. Sir, this isn't going to end well. Briggs whispers under his breath. It's already not ending well. The agent's hand moves subtly toward his own radio. Final warning, officer. Briggs freezes. Just for a second. Then he clicks the second cuff shut. The sound cuts through the street like a gunshot. The crowd gasps. Marcus feels both wrists locked now. Cold metal binding his hands behind his back. His chest tightens. Not panic, but something deeper. The agent's voice turns sharp for the first time. Officer Briggs, you are now detaining a federally protected individual without lawful cause. Briggs' eyes widen slightly, but he doesn't let go. Protected how? He challenges. The agent steps even closer, so close their shoulders nearly touch. Classified clearance. Silence falls hard. The teenager whispers, Oh. Marcus feels Briggs' grip loosen just a fraction, but the cuffs stay locked. The agent's final words land slow and deliberate. You just made this federal. And this time, Briggs' confidence cracks. The word federal hangs in the air. Briggs' grip finally loosens, but the cuffs stay on. Marcus feels the weight of them behind his back. Heavy, humiliating. The lead agent steps closer. Unlock them. Briggs swallows. You're bluffing. The agent's eyes don't move. Am I? The younger officer looks at the SUVs again. Two more suited agents now stand near the vehicles, watching. One speaks quietly into his sleeve. Marcus recognizes emotion, coordination, control. Briggs tries to recover his tone. If he's protected, why didn't he say that? Marcus answers before the agent can. Because I shouldn't have to. Silence. Briggs shakes his head. You think flashing suits changes what I saw? What did you see? The agent asks. Briggs opens his mouth, closes it. The crowd leans in without stepping closer. Even the wind feels still. You hesitated. Briggs finally says again, That's not a crime, the agent replies. Briggs gestures at Marcus. He was calculating. Marcus' heart beats once. Hard. Calculating. He was calculating tone, calculating words, calculating survival. The agent's voice lowers. Officer, you escalated a minor traffic stop into a custodial detention without probable cause. I had instinct. Instinct is not law. The teenager across the street whispers, Say that again. Briggs turns sharply. You enjoying the show? No. The boy says, surprisingly steady. I'm recording it. Another micro shift. Briggs looks around again. More phones now. More witnesses. The stage is bigger than he thought. The agent nods toward Marcus' wrists. Remove them. Briggs doesn't move. Unlock them, the agent repeats. The younger officer steps forward slightly. Sir, Briggs exhales through his nose. Hard, then slowly reaches for the key. The metal scrapes. One cuff opens. Then the other. Marcus pulls his hands forward carefully. Red marks circle both wrists. The skin is already swelling. Are you injured? The agent asks quietly. Marcus shakes his head. No. Do you require medical evaluation? No. Briggs lets out a short laugh. This is ridiculous. The agent turns to him. What's ridiculous is your report. What report? The one you're going to file. Briggs stiffens. Marcus rubs his wrist slowly. Feeling comes back in small stings. The agent gestures toward Marcus' watch briefly. Briggs notices. What about the watch? The agent looks at Marcus. Marcus nods slightly. Yes, the agent says. Briggs frowns. Yes, what? The agent's voice is calm again. Your stop triggered a proximity alert. Briggs stares. A what? Security protocol. The words land quietly, but heavily. Marcus remembers the vibration on his wrist earlier. Subtle, easy to miss. Briggs' face shifts. You're saying he called you? No. Then how? Your aggression did. Silence. The younger officer steps back another inch. The crowd whispers ripple again. Marcus watches Briggs carefully. This is the moment. The shift from control to exposure. Briggs runs a hand over his head. This is insane. No, the agent replies. It's documented. He gestures toward one of the SUVs. A small camera mounted near the windshield. Another near the grill. Briggs' eyes widen slightly. You surveilling local law enforcement now. We respond to risk. And I'm a risk? The agent pauses, then answers evenly. Today, yes. That lands. Harder than anything before. Briggs takes a step back without realizing it. The younger officer looks at him differently now, not as leader, but as liability. Marcus feels something in his chest loosen. Not relief, not yet, but validation. He wasn't imagining it. The tension, the coded words, the pressure. It was real. The agent speaks again. Officer Briggs, place your hands away from your duty belt. Briggs blinks. What? Hands. Away. From. The belt. The crowd shifts again. The power has flipped. Slow. Visible. Briggs lowers his hands. Slightly. You think I'm a threat now? I think emotions are high. Briggs looks at Marcus. There's no dominance left in his eyes now. Only frustration. You could have said something, Briggs mutters. Marcus answers quietly. I did. The agent pulls out his radio. Internal Affairs is en route. Briggs' head snaps up. That's unnecessary. It's procedure. For what? For escalation without cause. The words echo. Escalation. Without cause. The teenager whispers, "He's done." Marcus watches Briggs carefully. The man looks smaller now, still angry, but uncertain. Sirens sound faintly in the distance. Different tone than before. Slower. Official. Briggs exhales sharply. "This isn't over," he mutters under his breath. The agent hears it. "So you understand." Marcus feels the weight of those words settle over the street. This isn't just about him anymore. This is bigger. The sirens grow louder, closer, and Briggs finally steps fully away from Marcus. As another marked supervisor vehicle turns a corner, the supervisor vehicle rolls to a slow stop. No sirens now, just presence. A tall man in a pressed uniform steps out. Captain Reyes. His eyes scan the scene once. Cuffs hanging loose from Briggs' hand. Marcus rubbing his wrists. Black SUVs. Phones recording. "What's going on?" Reyes asks sharply. Briggs answers first. "Federal overreach." The lead agent steps forward. "Unlawful detention." Reyes' gaze shifts between them. "Officer Briggs, explain." He failed to signal. Acted evasive. Matched the description. "What description?" Reyes asks. Briggs hesitates again. Suspicious male. Dark SUV. Reyes' expression tightens. "That's thin." He hesitated when questioned. The agent cuts in. "Hesitation is not probable cause." Reyes looks at Marcus. "Sir, did you resist?" "No." "Did you refuse commands?" "No." Reyes turns to the younger officer. "You." The younger officer swallows. He complied. The word lands heavy. Complied. Reyes' jaw tightens. He looks at Briggs again. "You cuffed him?" "For officer safety." Reyes glances at Marcus' wrists. Red marks still visible. "For traffic stop?" Briggs says nothing. The lead agent steps closer. "Captain, this individual is attached to a federal protective network." Reyes frowns slightly. "What capacity?" The agent nods toward Marcus. "Senior cybersecurity advisor. Federal clearance." Reyes looks back at Marcus more carefully now. The suit, the composure, the silence. Briggs mutters under his breath. "That's convenient." The agent hears it. It's documented. Reyes exhales slowly. "Officer Briggs, did you confirm his record?" "Yes." "Any warrants?" "No." "Any contraband?" "No." "Any threat displayed?" "No." Each answer feels like a brick stacking on Briggs' shoulders. Reyes' voice lowers. "Then why escalate?" Briggs struggles. He had attitude. The crowd reacts audibly. Reyes' eyes narrow. "Attitude?" "He questioned me." Reyes steps closer. "That's legal." Briggs' voice rises. "He was testing me." "No." Marcus says quietly. "I was protecting myself." The words hang there. Reyes looks at Marcus. Something in that line shifts the tone. Protecting myself. Not resisting. Not arguing. Surviving. The agent speaks again. This stop triggered an automatic proximity alert. Reyes blinks. "Triggered?" "Yes." "How?" "Elevated aggression markers." Reyes processes that, then looks slowly at Briggs. "You understand what that means?" Briggs says nothing. The agent continues. "Your tone, your escalation, your attempt to restrain without cause." Reyes turns to Briggs fully now. "Is that accurate?" Briggs shakes his head. "They're twisting it." Reyes gestures toward the crowd. "Are they twisting it too?" Phone still raised. Multiple angles. Multiple witnesses. The teenager steps forward slightly. "He didn't do anything," he says firmly. Reyes studies the boy, then looks at Marcus. "Sir, do you wish to file a formal complaint?" Marcus pauses. This is the pivot. He feels anger in his chest, humiliation in his wrists, the memory of the words. "You people, attitude counts." He answers carefully. "Yes." Briggs exhales sharply. This is unbelievable. Reyes holds out his hand. "Badge." The word cuts clean. Briggs freezes. "You can't be serious." "Badge. Now." Briggs hesitates. Just long enough for everyone to see it, then slowly unclips it, places it in Reyes' palm. The sound of metal against skin echoes in the quiet street. The crowd murmurs louder now. Reyes continues. Officer Briggs, you are relieved pending investigation. Briggs' face flushes. In front of them? Reyes' voice stays cold. You made it public. The lead agent steps slightly back, control returning to local command. But the balance has shifted permanently. Briggs looks at Marcus. Not dominance now, not even anger, just something like disbelief. You think this fixes anything? Briggs mutters. Marcus meets his eyes. No. He pauses. But it stops you. The words land heavier than expected. Reyes gestures toward another officer who just arrived. Escort him. Briggs stiffens. You're taking their side? Reyes answers calmly. I'm taking the law's side. The younger officer watches silently. Briggs is guided toward the patrol car. Not cuffed, but removed. The street feels different now. Lighter, but fragile. Reyes turns back to Marcus. Sir, I apologize for this incident. Marcus nods once. Thank you. The agent steps beside him. We'll coordinate further. Reyes adds, Internal Affairs will contact you within 24 hours. Marcus looks at the crowd. At the teenager, still holding his phone. At the older man across the street, shaking his head slowly. This wasn't private. It was witnessed, exposed. Reyes clears his throat. All units clear the scene. The flashing lights finally turn off. One by one, the red and blue fade from Marcus' face. But the marks on his wrists remain. The agent speaks quietly to Marcus. You handle that well. Marcus exhales. I handled it carefully. There's a difference. The SUVs begin to pull away. The crowd slowly disperses. But whispers remain. Briggs sits in the back of a cruiser now. Not under arrest, but not in control. Marcus watches as the car door closes. And for the first time, he feels the cost. Not victory, not relief, just the weight of what almost happened. And what would have happened if no one had been watching? The street is almost empty now. Only patrol cars. One supervisor unit. And the black SUVs park like quiet witnesses. Marcus stands near the curb. The night air feels cooler, but his skin still burns with the cuffs pressed. The lead agent steps beside him. We'll need a formal statement. Marcus nods. Here. For now. Captain Reyes joins them. His tone is different now. Measured. Careful. Officer Briggs' body cam is being uploaded. Reyes says, We'll review immediately. The younger officer stands a few feet away. Silent. Avoiding Marcus' eyes. Reyes looks at him. Officer Miller, you were present. Yes, sir. Did Mr. Hill resist? Miller swallows. No, sir. Did he threaten anyone? No. Did he fail to comply? No. Each answer feels like a door closing. Reyes nods once. Understood. The lead agent speaks calmly. We also have live transmission from our vehicle feeds. Reyes raises an eyebrow. You record local stops? We record proximity threats. Reyes doesn't argue. He simply nods again. Marcus watches Miller carefully. The young officer looks shaken. Not angry, not defensive, just unsettled. Reyes turns to Marcus. Mr. Hill, when Officer Briggs said you had attitude, how did you interpret that? Marcus exhales slowly. He meant I wasn't submissive. Silence. Reyes holds his gaze. Explain. I asked why I was stopped. I asked if I was detained. I answered clearly. That was enough. Miller shifts his weight. Reyes' jaw tightens. Did he use any language that concerned you? Marcus pauses. He hears it again in his head. You people. Attitude counts. You think you're better. Yes. Marcus says quietly. What language? Reyes presses. He said, you people. Twice. Miller's eyes flick up quickly. Reyes looks at him. Did you hear that? Miller hesitates, then nods once. Yes, sir. Another door closes. The lead agent glances at Marcus' wrists. May I photograph those? Marcus nods. The flash goes off. White light against dark skin. Red marks captured clearly. Reyes watches. This will move quickly, he says. Marcus studies him. Will it? Reyes doesn't answer right away. Then, it has to. The agent's radio crackles softly. IA en route. 5 minutes. Reyes turns to Miller. You'll provide a written statement. Yes, sir. No omissions. Miller nods. Marcus feels something complicated in his chest. He isn't angry at Miller, but he isn't at ease either. Silence can hurt too. Reyes looks back at Marcus. I won't defend what I can't justify. That's a start, Marcus replies. Reyes gives a slight nod. A news van turns a corner. Headlights bright. Someone must have tipped them off. The teenager's video probably spread already. A reporter steps out quickly, microphone in hand. Captain Reyes, is it true an officer detained a federal official? Reyes sighs quietly. Marcus feels a shift again. Private moment turning public. Reyes speaks first. There is an active internal review. The reporter looks at Marcus. Sir, were you wrongfully detained? Marcus feels every eye on him again. Phones, cameras, streetlights. He chooses his words carefully. I was detained without cause. Did the officer target you because of race? The reporter asks. The question lands heavy. Too direct, too loud. Marcus feels the weight of it. I can't speak to what was in his mind. Marcus says calmly. I can speak to what was done. The reporter presses. And what was done? I was questioned beyond relevance. Labeled evasive for asking lawful questions. Restrained without probable cause. The street goes quiet again. Reyes watches him closely. The lead agent remains still. The reporter asks one more question. Do you believe this is systemic? Marcus pauses. He feels the memory of the cuffs. The words, the tone, the calculation. Yes, he says simply. Reyes exhales through his nose. Internal affairs vehicles pull up. 2 plainclothes investigators step out. Clipboards ready. Faces neutral. Professional. One approaches Briggs' cruiser. The other walks toward Reyes. We'll take over, the investigator says. Reyes nods. Marcus watches as Briggs is escorted out of the patrol car. Not cuffed, but no longer commanding. His shoulders look different now. Smaller. He catches Marcus' eye briefly. No apology. No recognition. Just resentment. The investigator speaks firmly. Officer Briggs, you are placed on administrative leave pending investigation. Briggs stiffens. This is political. No, the investigator replies. It's procedural. Marcus feels a final shift. Exposure is no longer possibility. It's process. The investigator turns to Marcus. Mr. Hill, we'll require your formal complaint. I'll provide it. We'll also need your consent to review all footage. You have it. The investigator nods. This will move to the district level. Briggs hears that. His head lifts sharply. District? Yes. The word echoes quietly. District. Bigger than department. Bigger than pride. The news camera captures it all. The badge gone. The cruiser door open. The investigators writing. Marcus feels tired now. Not weak. Just drained. The agent steps closer. We'll debrief you privately. Marcus nods. As internal affairs guides Briggs toward their vehicle, the reporter raises her microphone again. Officer Briggs, do you have a comment? Briggs stops walking, looks at the cameras, then at Marcus. His voice comes out strained. This isn't over. Marcus meets his gaze steadily. No, he says quietly. It's just starting. The internal affairs vehicle door closes. Briggs sits inside, not in cuffs, but not in control. The engine starts. The car pulls away slowly. The street exhales. Marcus watches until the taillights disappear. Only then does he realize how tight his shoulders are. He rolls them once. The lead agent steps beside him. Transportation is ready. Marcus nods, but he doesn't move yet. Captain Reyes approaches again. His tone is formal now. Mr. Hill, I want to state clearly, this department does not condone what occurred. Marcus studies him. Do you prevent it? Reyes pauses. That's what we're reviewing. That's not what I asked. Reyes holds his gaze. No, he says quietly. Not well enough. The honesty lands heavier than any apology. A small crowd still lingers. The teenager, Eli steps closer, phone lowered now. Sir, he says to Marcus, I sent the video to a civil rights page. It's already spreading. Marcus nods once. Thank you. Eli hesitates. You stayed calm. I don't think I could have. Marcus looks at him carefully. You shouldn't have to. Eli swallows. The words stick. A woman from earlier steps forward too. You handle that with dignity, she says softly. Marcus offers a faint nod. Inside, he doesn't feel dignified. He feels exposed, measured, tested. The news reporter moves closer again. Mr. Hill, one more question. Marcus looks at the agent. The agent gives a small nod. Marcus turns back. What message do you have for the community? Marcus chooses slowly. Record. Ask questions. Stay calm, but don't stay silent. The camera light glows brighter. And for officers, she asks. Marcus meets the lens. Authority is not immunity. The sentence hangs. Clean, direct. Captain Reyes hears it. He doesn't argue. Another patrol car pulls up. Different officers now. Quiet, observing. Reyes turns to them. Scene is closed. They nod. The agent gestures toward the SUV, waiting for Marcus. Before Marcus moves, the younger officer, Miller, approaches. His face is pale. Sir, Miller says quietly. Marcus turns. Yes. I'm sorry. The word is small, barely above a whisper. Marcus studies him. You stood there. Miller nods. I know. Why? Miller struggles. He's my training officer. That answers loyalty, not silence. Miller looks down. I didn't think it would go that far. Marcus lets that sit. It always can. Miller swallows again. I'll tell the truth. Marcus nods once. That matters. Miller steps back. The line between them isn't erased, but it's clearer. Captain Reyes steps forward one last time. Internal Affairs will recommend suspension pending district review. Suspension? Eli blurts from behind. Reyes hears him. Investigation first. Marcus watches Reyes carefully. And after investigation? Reyes answers without looking away. If findings infer misconduct, termination. The word feels sharp, final. But Marcus knows something. Termination doesn't erase memory. It doesn't erase the cuff marks. It doesn't erase the words. The lead agent opens the SUV door. Time to go. Marcus nods. Before he steps inside, the reporter calls out again. Mr. Hill, do you feel safe? The question lands deep. Marcus pauses. He thinks about the flashing lights, the cuff tightening, the phrase you people, the way his heart measured every word. He answers honestly. Safer than I did 20 minutes ago. He gets inside the SUV. The door closes softly. Through the tinted window, he watches the street shrink, the place where he stood, where he almost lost control, where someone else tried to take it. The SUV begins to move. The agent beside him speaks quietly. This will escalate beyond the department. Marcus nods. How far? District review. Possibly federal civil rights. Marcus exhales slowly. He doesn't feel victorious. He feels tired. The agent glances at him. You okay? Marcus looks down at his wrists again. The red lines are darker now. Clear. I will be, he says. The SUV turns a corner. Behind them, cameras still flash. Reporters still speak. And inside the departing Internal Affairs vehicle, Briggs stares forward, silent. For the first time in a long time, he isn't the one asking questions. The SUV ride is quiet. City lights blur past the window. Marcus watches his reflection in the glass. Calm face, steady eyes, but his hands won't stop replaying it. The cuff tightening. The words, you people. He flexes his fingers slowly. The lead agent speaks softly. You don't have to attend the district hearing in person. I will, Marcus says. It will be public. I know. The agent studies him. You understand this could expand beyond Briggs. Marcus nods. That's the point. The SUV pulls into a secure parking structure. Concrete walls, echoing engine hum. The doors open. Marcus steps out. The air smells different here. Cleaner, controlled. Inside the building, a small conference room waits. Two federal attorneys sit at the table. Files already open. Screens ready. One of them looks up. "Mr. Hill, thank you for coming." Marcus sits. He places his hands on the table. The red marks are still visible. One attorney glances at them briefly, then back to his notes. "We've reviewed preliminary footage." Marcus listens. Officer Briggs escalated within 3 minutes of contact. The attorney continues. His language patterns suggest bias markers. Marcus doesn't react outwardly. Inside, something tightens. Bias markers. That's the clinical word for something that feels personal. The second attorney speaks. "There's also a pattern." Marcus looks up. Pattern? Prior complaints. Similar tone. Similar escalation. Marcus absorbs that. So it wasn't just today. The first attorney continues. "Your proximity alert activated because of voice stress analysis combined with movement aggression." Marcus nods slowly. "So the system flagged him?" "Yes." "And if it hadn't?" The room goes quiet. The attorney answers honestly. "Then it would have remained local." Marcus leans back slightly. "That lands heavy. Local. Contained. Unseen." His phone vibrates. Messages flooding in. Friends. Colleagues. Strangers. The video is everywhere now. The second attorney slides a tablet across the table. It shows the footage. Briggs saying it. "You people." Clear audio. No distortion. Marcus watches himself on screen. Hands raised. Voice steady. He doesn't look afraid. But he remembers being afraid. That's the part that will matter most. The attorney says quietly. Marcus nods once. There's a knock at the door. Captain Reyes steps inside. Alone, he removes his cap. "I wanted to say something off record." The attorneys glance at Marcus. Marcus nods. They step out. Reyes closes the door behind him. He doesn't sit. "I reviewed his prior stops." Reyes says, "And?" Marcus asks. "There's a pattern of escalation with minority drivers." Marcus' jaw tightens. "Then why wasn't it addressed?" Reyes answers slowly. "Because complaints didn't stick." "Why?" "Lack of evidence." Marcus looks at him steadily. "There was evidence." Reyes nods. "There wasn't visibility. The difference is small. But it matters." Reyes exhales. "This department will face review." "It should." Reyes meets his eyes. "It will hurt morale." Marcus doesn't look away. It already hurts trust. Silence fills the room. Reyes nods once. "You're right." He turns toward the door, then pauses. "I can't undo tonight." "No," Marcus says, "but you can prevent the next one." Reyes opens the door slowly. "I intend to." After he leaves, the attorneys return. "District review is scheduled for tomorrow morning." One says. "So fast?" Marcus asks. "The video accelerated it." The cost of calm. The power of recording. Marcus stands slowly. His body feels heavier than before. Not weak, just aware. The attorney hands him a document. Formal federal complaint filed. Marcus signs. The pen feels heavier than the cuffs did. As he leaves the building, reporters are already waiting outside the gates. Lights bright. Voices calling his name. "Mr. Hill, will you testify? Do you forgive him?" Marcus stops at the edge of the light. He looks at the cameras, at the crowd, at the city behind them. "I'm not here for revenge," he says clearly. "I'm here for accountability." A reporter asks loudly, "Are you afraid this will make you a target?" Marcus thinks about that, about the badge, about the look in Briggs' eyes. Then he answers honestly, "I was already a target." The flashes go off, rapid, blinding, and somewhere across the city, Officer Briggs watches the broadcast in silence. The district hearing room feels colder than the street did. No flashing lights, no shouting, just rows of chairs, a long table, 3 officials seated behind it. Marcus sits on one side, his attorneys beside him. Across the room, Officer Daniel Briggs. No uniform, no badge, just a suit that doesn't quite fit the same way authority once did. The room hums quietly with reporters, community members, Officers in plain clothes. Captain Reyes sits in the second row, still, watching. The lead district official clears his throat. This hearing concerns Officer Daniel Briggs and the events of last evening. The screen behind them lights up. Bodycam footage. The stop begins. The flashing lights. Marcus stepping out calmly. The questions. What kind of work? The pause. You people always think. The audio fills the room. Clear. Undeniable. Briggs shifts in his chair. The official pauses the video. Officer Briggs. He says evenly, "What did you mean by you people?" Briggs swallows. "I misspoke. You said it twice. I didn't mean it racially." The official leans forward. "Then what did you mean?" Briggs hesitates. Silence stretches too long. "I meant argumentative citizens." A murmur runs through the room. Marcus feels it. The same coded dodge. The official nods slowly. "You also stated attitude counts as justification for restraint." Briggs straightens. He was escalating verbally. Marcus speaks for the first time. "I asked lawful questions." The official looks at him. "Mr. Hill, did you raise your voice?" "No." "Did you refuse commands?" "No." "Did you threaten the officer?" "No." The official turns back to Briggs. Bodycam confirms compliance. Briggs' jaw tightens. He hesitated. The official pauses. Hesitation is not probable cause. The words echo the agents from the street. Clean, clinical, final. The second official speaks. "Prior complaints against you show similar escalation patterns. Minority drivers. Tone-based justification." Briggs' face flushes. "Those were cleared." "For lack of video." The official replies. Silence again. He wasn't cleared. He was unseen. The screen shows the moment the cuffs click. The room watches. The sound is louder here, more humiliating. The official lowers his glasses. "Officer Briggs, do you believe your actions were influenced by bias?" Briggs hesitates. This is the pivot. "Yes or no?" The official presses. Briggs exhales sharply. "No." The answer feels small, thin. The lead official nods slowly. Intent does not erase impact. Marcus feels something inside him loosen. Just a little. The official continues. "Your escalation lacked legal foundation. Your language reflected bias markers. Your restraint was unwarranted." Briggs stares at the table. The room is silent. The official delivers the final line carefully. "Officer Daniel Briggs is hereby terminated from service effective immediately. This case will also be referred to Federal Civil Rights Review." The word lands. Terminated. No applause. No cheers. Just a heavy exhale from somewhere in the back. Marcus doesn't smile. He feels steady. The cost still sits in his chest. But so does something else. Recognition. The officials stand. The hearing adjourns. Reporters surge forward. "Officer Briggs, any statement?" Briggs walks past him. Silent. Eyes down. Captain Reyes approaches Marcus. "It's done," he says quietly. Marcus nods. For him. Reyes understands. Policy reform announcements follow quickly. Mandatory bias review. Escalation retraining. Public reporting transparency. Steps. Not fixes, but steps. Outside the building, the sky is gray. Clouds low. Marcus steps toward the sidewalk. Eli stands there. Phone in hand again. "You won," Eli says softly. Marcus looks at him. It wasn't about winning. Eli nods slowly. "I know." A reporter calls out one last question. "Mr. Hill, do you feel justice was served?" Marcus pauses. He thinks about the red marks on his wrists. They've faded now, but he still feels them. He thinks about the words. About how quickly calm can be labeled threat. He answers carefully. Justice was acknowledged. The reporter tilts her head. "And is that enough?" Marcus looks at the city behind her, at the officers walking past, at the cameras recording. It's a beginning. He turns to leave. The crowd slowly disperses. Inside the now empty hearing room, a chair sits vacant where a badge once mattered. Outside, Marcus walks forward, not untouched, not unchanged, but unbroken. And as he reaches the end of the steps, he says quietly, almost to himself, It shouldn't take power to prove your humanity. The wind carries the words away. But this time, they were heard.